Get Sweaty with Leddy, a wellness program about pain management. Hello and welcome to today's easy, breezy, beautiful episode of Get Sweaty with Leddy. My guest today is Mikey Silva, an instant good friend of mine who I met about a year ago when we bonded over all of our experiences with pain. Mikey is one of the world's greatest skydivers, so he's got some crazy stories to tell. So let's go sit inside of the bench and hear what he's got to say. Welcome inside our beautiful Excelsior sauna. I've got the man, the myth, the flying legend, Mikey Silva, sitting next to me. Mike, you got to tell the people about some of your incredible accomplishments as a skydiver.
Man, well, thanks so much for having me today. Been looking forward to this for a long time. It's been awesome being your friend. Yeah, it was almost like destiny for us to meet and talk and grow together. And
100%.
We kind of talk about, I guess, my background and our connection through pain and recovery and athletics. My journey and my background and my purpose was a body flight instructor and professional skydiver. Passion in life, something I worked in for a long, long time. And my background in gymnastics and skateboarding and other sports led to a lot of injuries. And we can, I guess, dive into that and talk about those a little today. Pretty crazy background.
What was the first time in your life where you were introduced to pain, you know? What does that mean to you? Because, you take a lot of falls as a gymnast. There's a lot of interesting, probably unique impacts when you're learning how to skydive. But what started this relationship with pain and Mikey Silva?
I was just always going as hard as I could at the sports that I loved. And I think some of the biggest ones that I could share with you, I had my first major right leg injury on my right knee doing gymnastics in college on a fast track trampoline. It's like a skinny long trampoline that you do a series of tricks on.
Yep.
And I was performing a backflip double twist. So you have 720 degrees of rotation in one single backflip. And I was completing those in segments. And on one of them I was fatigued, tired, a little bit unairwear, and I landed short. And my body kept spinning a full 360 degrees while my right foot was planted on the trampoline.
Oh my God.
Total rotation of the knee joint, bounced back in the air, landed on it again, and immediately blew up to this giant thing. It ended up being ACL, MCL, LCL, full tear, and I fractured my femur.
Oh my God.
It was about a 13-month recovery. And
how old were you then?
I was in college. This was 2006, 2007. Kind of that time frame.
Damn.
So that was first one, and I would say that's my good leg, my good leg. So
it still remains your good leg even after all of that.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then my second one to share that I think was really impactful, shortly after that in 2012, was longboarding, and just tripped uneven pavement as I was running out the bail, had the board hit the back of my left Achilles and rupture with complications. Immediately swelling black color floated down into my leg. Walked home, went to an initial consult that week with a doctor and a therapist, and they said that it was a really bad sprain and just to do therapy and walk it off. And so I was doing therapy for about two months. I don't know if I told you this before, but about 2 months of therapy on this ruptured, very damaged Achilles tendon, but was still finding a way to make it work with other muscles. I went and did in 2012 in the summer to Skydive Chicago, competed and participated in a world record skydive and have a Guinness World Record with a ruptured Achilles tendon. All kinds of crazy stuff with borrowing bigger parachutes, and I couldn't land or exit the plane right. But I have a world record. It was a 138 person formation then, vertical world record. Come back home, and as I get to my house, I'm carrying my bags up the stairs, and there was a rock that wobbled, and I stepped on it wrong and put pressure on it. This was coming home from the flight, and
oh my God,
heard a rip. go into an ER that night and they're like, yeah, man, you have a ruptured Achilles tendon with complications. You need surgery immediately. Then had that rebuilt. You see the scarring up the whole back of my leg. Gnarly. And that's like my bad leg now. So those are two big ones. Many others, and I kind of feel like pain is just a constant in my life. Right. I'm getting used to it and managing it. Yeah. To still be a positive, optimistic person, which I love being, is a challenge I've had to learn to overcome.
I can totally relate to you because, I mean, so Mikey and I met right as I was releasing my book about pain. And, you know, writing that book was me, in a sense, trying to remove myself from this identity that I am always in pain, right? And it was because I had moments where I wasn't in pain anymore. And I was in shock, not disbelief, but like just complete elation. So I was like, I'm on cloud 9, and you know, Mikey and I start talking, and I start finding out about all his injuries, and it was in a sense like, well, we were just instant friends, which was fantastic. But it spoke to me, our connection, because I was just releasing this book, and it's like, this is my purpose, is to help people find these paths to pain-free. And it's probably not pain-free 100% of the time your whole rest of your life, because I've experienced pain since I've written my book. Mm-hmm. You know, I push myself, just like you push yourself, and you find yourself in precarious positions that lead to pain. Yeah. So when you had these injuries, you know, it obviously didn't deter your trajectory as a skydiver, which is amazing. So, like, what were you doing to just push through? Was it just, like, the will where you just start to understand this pain, understand what level it's at, get used to it, and then essentially just create, like, a whole new barometer for pain?
That's a really good question. And I think, first off, I was just very lucky and fortunate to have a passion to work towards, which was to get back to a place of being able to fly. Yeah. And I think if you have a passion in life with a sport or an activity, which are, you know, very lucky to have if you have that, is to use that as the motivation to go forwards. And I just wanted to experience flying again and running out a landing and being able to move around and feel like a superhero and enjoy those hobbies. And my body has to work well to do that at the level I want. And so the pain just kind of became something you deal with, and all the therapies and all the work and the stretching and the strength training and the recovery and the things you do to get back to it became a must in my life. And I know that's what we talk about all the time, is pursuing new things that make you feel better and functional to get back to doing the stuff you enjoy.
Yeah. And an advantage for me too is like I wanted to get back, and I wanted to play hockey when I was dealing with all of my knee injuries and my back stuff. And it was ingrained in me that if I had spare time, I wanted to rehab. I wanted to get back and stronger. I wanted to push through. That was good pain right there. And when you're able to like push through that good pain to feel better and feel stronger, it feels amazing. Mm-hmm. You know, and it brings back this level of confidence. It's like, all right, cool. I just beat that pain. I can go and do this again. If I get in pain, I'll continue to deal with it. And as a super high performing athlete, you know, it's tough to deal with mentally when you're always just dealing with pain. So, you know, for me, I had to dial back and kind of refrain from playing sports again so that I could just have an elongated period without pain. And I admire your commitment, you know, to being able to do this. I wish that I could skydive 14 times in a day. That's what he did this last week.
Had a busy weekend.
14 times. That's over the weekend. So that's just amazing. And, you know, let me ask, it was just straight will that you were essentially utilizing, right? Or was there any type of rehab that you were doing? Like, is it stuff in the water? Did you ever get on, you know, medication or anything like this to try to fight pain?
You know, I think that I was very lucky in having mentors for physical therapy at different moments in my life. I had some really key, interesting people that either helped me with weightlifting, recovery, or stretching, or yoga during each of those injuries. It's like I met a new person at each phase of my life when I moved from Colorado to Minnesota or met you, and it's like some big new person came in that helped me manage pain. And a lot of it's been strength training and mobility training. But each person has had a really specific specialty, grip strength or asymmetrical weightlifting or stuff specific to shoulder mobility, which I really, really, really needed as a skydiver, like moving your arm in various range of motion. And so I just got connected with these unique people, and I'm a big believer in that, like, motion is healing, motion is medicine, and when you do it in the right way, you feel better. And you just have to have that expert there to give you some confidence to move when you're hurt in the right way or the right pattern, to have that motion be medicine and not something more hurt. Because if you're pushing and charging, it's like, what is that line that you don't want to cross to re-injure something?
Totally. Yeah, it's like, movement, mobility, it is key. There's so many different wellness modalities out there. And that's why, Spring Park Awakening is something I'm so excited about, because it puts it all out there. It kind of shows you that, there's not just one thing to do. There's all different types of movement that is going to benefit you. And if you're utilizing it in any form of any combination, it's going to be great. But what I'm not hearing is that you just slapped in a bunch of pain pills and just took it easy, that didn't do it. So if you're someone that's out there doing that, or you're waiting for the person to be like, I took these pills, and you're just waiting for that, like, that's not going to happen here. It is movement, and it's having the freedom of the mind to create this desire that you want to get back to something. And if you're taking pain pills, it's gonna mask that desire. It's going to reduce your mobility and your desire to move, and that's just not good. So it's really cool that you have found different ways to manage your body throughout this your incredible career of skydiving and just being a high performance athlete.
And moving to Minnesota, hanging out with people like you, getting used to cold plunge, sauna. Has been life-changing. We're doing it now, feeling good in the morning.
Yeah.
And I think these things that are healthy for your body, making it more of a habit and doing it more often, is a big part of that, as opposed to a pill or some quick fix that's temporary but doesn't solve the problem or make you feel fulfilled long-term.
For sure. And there's something just incredibly motivating about being able to talk to you about the stuff that I'm doing and listen about the stuff that you're doing, because if we're doing it in a silo, we're not having this connection where it's either just like reaffirmation about what you're doing is right, just getting that quality feedback. There's a huge sense of healing out of community, and it can just take two people. You don't need to have 1,000. Right? As long as you have somebody else that you can relate to and get motivation from, like that goes a long way. And I have, like, what we're going to kind of get into next, once we throw some logs on this fire here, is kind of what we're doing now. It's like we connected, we understand each other from a pain standpoint and beyond, and now we are both helping each other out with this next modality that I'm so excited about, which is resistance flexibility. So let's throw some logs in this fire here and retool on this.
Excited
bench.
to talk about that.
Yeah, heck yeah. Let's do it. We are instantly dripping now that the sauna is cooking. Feeling pretty good right now. How are you feeling?
Warming up, buddy. I feel good.
Can't wait till we jump in the lake. But until then, let's get back to the main topic here. We're going to kind of get into resistance flexibility and how that all started. But let's fill you in on the trajectory. So we told you that we met each other about a year ago, bonded instantly over pain, and then like a week or two later, we got lunch talking about pain, and I gave you my book. I was like, just check this out, see if there's anything that can resonate with you, yada, yada, yada. As with anything in life, it's hard to jump right into anything. We knew that we were going to help each other out in some way, shape, or form, but we both had our own trajectories in life, and it's hard to just immediately stop that in any way, right? And Then comes the fall time. You know what happens to me. I hurt my knee and I start going into this pain spiral. Little did I know, Mikey runs into an issue as well. Can you tell the people about the pain that you started enduring? What was it, around January?
Yeah, it's been most of the start of this year, and it's been a left hip feeling where there's a lack of connection, mobility, openness. And that's just a super important, part of movement with everything. And so we were going through injuries at the same time unknowingly, and hadn't found a good fix for it. And we're just wondering, what's going on with this pain? How can I deal with it or get a solution for it? And, we started talking.
Yeah, so I'm in Santa Barbara. I'm coming back. I'm figuring out this resistance flexibility thing. And I figured out now I'm bringing Richard out here, and I'm going to try to create a workshop. I'm going to try to introduce some of my people to this modality. So I hit up Mikey, and I'm like, Mikey, I'm bringing this dude out. I'm bringing Richard out, and I'm doing this flexibility workshop. You wanna check this out? So he's in it, right? I was really excited because it was very validating because I'm doing this thing, I'm talking about this stuff. It's hard to get people to do anything. So when Mikey's like, yeah, I'm in, I'm like, all right, yeah, nice. And then everybody else I asked was like, yeah, I'm in. I'm like, all right, this is amazing. So validating. What, when it comes to our workshop, Mikey had a conflict arise, wasn't able to stick around the whole time. But what was it like for you walking into this experience, having not known much about it? Yeah, what was that like?
I was so grateful for the invite, and, as our friendship's grown and you gave me your book and I got to read through it and get to know your journey and how everything's like a chain of events with your injuries, like going to bigger and bigger pain, and years later you realize there's a connection. So just your experiences with pain, I think, are like so many other people's, where you just it's this building thing that happens over time. Where when you invited me to this, I'm like, instant trust, gonna sign up, get as much done as I can. And so walking into it, just seeing this group of people who's looking for solutions, which I love. I love solutions, getting stuff done.
Yeah.
I always want to figure out a pathway forwards. Meet Richard, and I just had an open brain, a nice, willing, open brain to just absorb whatever they had. And so we get into what we're calling it, what's the name?
Resistance, flexibility, and strength training.
Resistance, flexibility, and strength training. It is what it is. And it was, leaving the seminar the first day with Richard was eye-opening to learn about the nuance of how we're doing that process, and just to see the benefits of really focused, thoughtful movement to be medicine and grow. And I just really, after the first day in the seminar as a group, was like, man, I hope I get a chance to go through a more personalized, focused experience. And Josh, knowing how beat up I am, gave me an opportunity to do that before Richard left, and that was a pretty incredible experience, which I hope we talk about.
Yeah, it was an incredible experience for you, but it was an incredible experience for me, because I got to literally witness the healing of the injury that you described as you're just going through the motion and you're narrating what's happening. It was surreal. So yeah, we got Mikey found some time to coordinate a stretch with Richard, and I was there the whole entire time, because there gets to a point where you run into incredibly dense fascia that one person alone doesn't have the force to move. That's how strong the fascia and tissue can be inside of your body. So I had to help Richard at a few times there, because Mikey's got a lot going on inside of his body. And when your body reacts to trauma, it protects that trauma in the form of fascia. And you can have healthy fascia and you can have unhealthy fascia. And if you're not, moving and kind of working through, breaking that fascia up, it will just create this hard plastic skeleton almost in your whole body.
Well said.
You know what I mean? It's hard for me to describe it because I'm not scientific, but if you can relate to that description, I like that.
I totally can. And what I would describe to people in going through this process, it hit an area of the injury in the front of the hip with like external rotation and movement that's been making me cautious and fearful and unconfident since January, February this year. What Richard was doing, and with Josh's help, was moving my leg and hip and knee and foot and lower back and basically everything through motions that a machine couldn't do, that you couldn't do by yourself, that bands wouldn't work for, that weights wouldn't work for, to kind of target where the impingements were or where the resistance was. And then Richard had the expertise to move my leg or toe, internal, external, this and that. And then we would fight that motion with muscles in a safe spot, going away and in. And the resistance of having like a teammate doing that for you was just a type of mobility and blood flow that you couldn't recreate any other way. And I have gone through a lot of physical therapy for a variety of different things on my entire body, neck, back, shoulders, hands, obviously the knee and the ankle, where this was different than anything else I've encountered before. And I've had some pretty awesome physical therapists and technicians to work with who all helped me with a specific thing. And this was new. This was different, and I felt immediately better after, and couldn't recommend it more if you're looking to heal and grow and get back to what you need. So I'm looking forward to the next one.
It was lasting, right? Like, how's your hip feeling today? This was 2.5 weeks ago where we stretched.
You know, my birthday was here at the brewery, actually, April 10th, so a couple months ago, and I was broken that day. Not feeling confident to run out a landing or do like any kind of lifting at any amount. And I absolutely feel better today than I did, a month and a half ago, and look forward to more therapy and growth to kind of get back to full confidence. So it was immediate, it was lasting.
That's cool.
And I would like to do more. Like anything, you got to keep up the sauna, the cold plunge, the lifting, the yoga, you got to keep it up. And I'll look forward to the next piece to just have it be part of our habits and routines.
Yeah. So if you're picking up on what we're throwing out there, I mean, we're trying to create this community so that you guys can experience what Mikey's talking about and what I've experienced firsthand solo over the past couple years, but with the assisted stretching that I've been fortunate enough to experience since April, since basically Mikey's birthday. My life is just leaps and bounds better from having this modality in my life. And I remember you were talking about, while you were dealing with your injury in January, February, March, you were seeing physical therapists, you're doing PT, you're doing what everybody says that they got to be doing. Oh, I'm going to do some physical therapy, going to go do some physical therapy. But you didn't have any success with that physical therapy.
They were trying to target what it was, and it just kind of felt like airy and empty. It never hit the right spot. It's some kind of weird thing with my TFL and piriformis muscle and IT band and like maybe the hip joint, all these unique things that were happening with like internal hip rotation, and the therapy just never like got it.
Yeah.
And then when we did the seminar and my individual stretching with Richard, it was like instantly exactly in the spot that I knew I could feel it instantly. And then all the stretching was like the first time in months I could move and resist and push in that area without getting hurt more.
That's so cool.
So it was like helpful muscles and movement and blood flow. And I hadn't experienced that for months.
And then you were just skydiving for 14 times on this last Saturday and Sunday. Like, would you have had full confidence before seeing Richard? Or like, where's the mental shift? Because you've got the physical shift is one thing, right? But that mental component of knowing that you don't have to think about protecting yourself, was that there for you?
Absolutely. And the confidence that came back to, run out a landing or be able to have my ankles and knees and hip move on uneven surface, landing crosswind, or, some kind of weird thing like that kind of came back where I'm feeling really good. Just having a nice day at the drop zone, or a nice day playing pickleball or being on a SUP board, like all the cool Minnesota Lake things you may do to feel good. So it's coming back, and feel fortunate to do this. But having been through a lot of therapies, this is an awesome, new, different thing that I haven't experienced before, and I couldn't recommend it more.
And the unique thing about working with Richard or an elite certified trainer from the Genius of Flexibility is that they can just read your body to the point where, you know, they're asking questions and they're helping you discover the origin of an injury that might have been so long ago that you can't relate to it, you know? So it's really fun to learn where your body has this hidden timeline of injuries in the form of fascia that's built up all over the place. And I know as well as you know that there's more dense fascia built up in your body, and we're both gonna get a taste of that release in a couple weeks when Richard is in town. And you know, hopefully we're gonna release this episode right before right before everybody's here. So hopefully that can ignite people to get a ticket and come to Spring Park Awakening and meet Bob Cooley and have him, you know, type you so that you can learn a little bit more about yourself and your body and how certain movements are going to help heal you. It's so exciting.
I'd love to hear your take on your knee and what that felt like what the turning point was in your therapy with him, like how I had my hip.
Yeah. So I, like when I'm going out to Santa Barbara, I'm worried. You know, I made the decision that this is something I wanted to do in January after I was really about to reach my rock bottom point. And I didn't buy a ticket right away or reserve my space because I had this fear, you know? So I got this physical thing preventing me, but then it created this mental thing that preventing me from, am I going to be able to do this, you know? So that mental part was just as painful as the physical part. So, you know, I'm seeing my bodywork specialist, I'm seeing my ART specialist, I'm hooking up the ARP, I'm doing all of these things while trying to balance it out so there's not too many cooks in the kitchen. You know, I'm not going from appointment to appointment to appointment. I'm trying to gap it out a little bit so I can understand the benefits of it. But it was like this slow improvement where I'd move forward and then I'd move back. I'd move forward and then I'd move back. But when I went to start stretching at this workshop, you know, I didn't have an individual stretch the whole 7 days while I was there, but I had multiple moments where I was the focus of an intense group stretch, and they were targeting a specific, you know, part of my body. And for me, I was still having like some neck and shoulder stuff and to go along with my knee, and we didn't even target my knee that much. We just targeted other things around my body.
Yep.
And then my knee problem disappeared.
Yep.
Gone. Full range of motion. Swelling gone. You know, it was like the movement literally targeted dense fascia and built up scar tissue and just removed it. And removed it to create this new mobility. And now all of a sudden I'm bouncing around.
Yep.
I've got this flow of communication that can now go through my whole entire body. It's not getting caught up in the dense fascia like a traffic jam. It's all systems go. All right, we had to take an unexpected intermission there because the camera outside the sauna heated up. That's how hot we got this thing going here.
We're pushing forwards.
Yeah, but I think I made my point as far as, you know, what my experiences were and how that made my knee feel. And, you know, I have complete and utter confidence in it right now. I just have so much on my plate that I don't want to risk it, you know? I don't want to risk going back to playing and then hurting myself and kind of like halting this momentum that I've built since being in Santa Barbara. So it's not a fear, it's just more or less this calculated decision where I think I know I want to play hockey again, but I'm just in a little bit of a break, you know? Gotta take a break sometimes.
I love that. I think that's maturity too. And, you know, taking calculated risks.
Yes.
And maintaining your health and kind of growing up with how you approach athletics as you deal with injuries, because that's a big mental challenge as well.
Yeah, I mean, rest is a form of rehab, and there's no timeline on quality rest, you know?
Yeah.
As long as I'm mixing in movement in there and I'm not just being this stagnant, you know, piece of crap, taking pills or whatever, I want to be the exact opposite of that. A moving, thriving, feeling being. And we're about to go and feel something real nice in the form of a dip into the purifying waters of Lake Minnetonka. Are you ready, Mikey Silva?
I'm ready. Let's make it happen.
All right, let's do this. Do something a little different here and just cannonball right into this dog. A little reverse cannonball style. Hopefully I didn't get the camera wet.
Yeah. Oh, that feels insane.
Oh my God.
Wow.
What a good end.
Yeah. Oh, I'm still getting this just like rush of chills through my whole body as my body acclimates to the temperature here. It's probably working extra hard inside, flushing out things that shouldn't be there.
It feels great, and you know, I'd love to have a call to action or share. I know Josh has got a lot going on, and the whole point of this is to keep working forwards. I'm really looking forward to the next event. Do you want to talk about how you can get support or
Oh yeah,
able to access
down
this?
here,
Like,
yeah.
I'm just so looking forward to it. So I don't know when, who can come, all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, the best way to continue to get connected with what we're talking about, and that's resistance, flexibility, and strength training, follow Spring Park Awakening. Send a message. This is on the Instagram. I don't have a Facebook yet because it's tough to manage all platforms, right?
Yeah.
But if you follow Spring Park Awakening on Instagram, you send a message, we'll get you connected in some way, shape, or form to resistance, flexibility, and strength training, because it is about as next level as it gets.
Yeah, I'd love to see the community grow and just help more athletes get better.
Yeah, I'm so excited for what everything looks like a year from now when we've had time to continue to bring Richard out, get more people introduced to this, get people feeling better. Wow.
Yeah. Appreciate you, brother.
Love you, man.
Love you, brother.
All right, let's go sweat a little bit more. Come out with my garment on.
That's the best way to roll.
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah, feels real nice. All right, yeah.
Get sweaty, buddy.
Yeah,
Thanks for
for
having me,
getting
man.
sweaty and getting lakey with me. Let's go sweat some more. Oh yeah, I am a mucky pile in here right now after coming out with that weed garment, but that's what I like. I like those lake weeds out there. If it wasn't for lake weeds, I probably wouldn't be here right now. That's the power of lake weeds in my life and the trajectory that my lake weed removal business has brought to me. And so go plunging in the lake with weeds, you have no idea how full circle that is for me.
Yeah, it's a lake shower, so by my metrics, we're already clean. We took our shower for
Yes.
the day.
Yes. But how do you feel? There's like a 100-degree temperature swing in that water there.
Yeah, refreshed. I love the contrast. The challenge of cold plunge is always a little fun.
Oh, yes.
Get your brain, like, in your body doing the thing you know is good for you, even though it's a little difficult.
Yep. I love it. Oh, and it was fun. I'm glad that we got to talk about Spring Park Awakening down there. It is definitely something I want you guys to follow. You can send me a message personally as well if you're trying to learn more or get involved with resistance, flexibility, and strength training. We're going to be doing something. I know we're going to be coordinating stretches while the crew from the Genius of Flexibility is in town. We might do a workshop. If we don't do a workshop in a couple weeks, we're going to have some more down the road because we want to introduce this modality to people. And we want to selfishly help ourselves, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a win-win for everybody.
Win-win. Yeah. So I guess, with that, you know where to find me. You know where to find Spring Park Awakening. But where do we find crazy-ass videos of Mikey Silva skydiving?
Thanks for asking.
Yeah.
You can find me on Facebook and Instagram, Mike Silva Jr., Michael Silva Jr. Tons of videos. Obviously, just a huge hero for the sport of body flight and skydiving. Couldn't encourage people more to check out I Fly Indoor Skydiving in Ridgedale. Also, the drop zone here that I jump at, Skydive Twin Cities in Baldwin, Wisconsin. Just amazing place, amazing staff, super high-class operations. If you ever had any questions about going or wanted to ask me questions, let me know. The wind tunnel flies ages 3 up to 103. I've personally flown a 98-year-old great-grandma when I was still working there.
So cool.
And I got to fly my nephews when they were a little younger than 3, which is pretty great. Skydiving is 18 and up. And the reason I'm so passionate in sharing that stuff is just go find something you enjoy that gives you motivation to push through the pain and just have a positive goal in the end. So if that would be motivating for you, love to talk about it. Love to guide you in the right direction. Feel free to hit me up or send me a message there.
Awesome. Well, Mikey, I appreciate you. I appreciate our friendship more than you know. I
I can't wait to continue to grow with you. And that's all I got.
This is the way to live. Sauna and cold plunge. Let's go.
That's right. Stay sweaty out there, everybody. We'll see you soon.